Hello and welcome back to WWE 2K20 Universe Mode and the first Raw after the Elimination Chamber, and what a great show it was. And if you haven't seen it, make sure to go back and watch it because there will be spoilers throughout this video. But we are kicking things off with the winner of the #1 contendership Elimination Chamber, Bianca Belair, and she is now going to WrestleMania. She has got herself a match against the Raw Women's Champion Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania. And what a night it was for Bianca Belair. But Rhea Ripley, one of the competitors in that match, desperate to get another shot at Shayna Baszler after losing to Shayna Baszler back at the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley wanted another chance, issued this challenge to Bianca Belair tonight, and Bianca taking on Rhea Ripley one-on-one in our opening contest here tonight. Perhaps if Ripley can get a win here, maybe get herself in a potential contention match for Fastlane maybe. We still do have Fastlane before we get to WrestleMania. Who knows if Shayna Baszler will be able to keep her championship through the Fastlane pay-per-view, or will she drop it to someone perhaps like Rhea Ripley? Who knows who it will be, but can Rhea manage to put away Bianca Belair tonight, or could Bianca continue her momentum growing as she heads towards one of the main events of WrestleMania? Oh, and using her hair straight away. And look at the way Rhea Ripley just falls to the mat after that chop from the braid of Bianca Belair. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as you don't want to miss out on all the content coming up, including Fastlane and then of course WrestleMania just after that. Rhea Ripley now fighting back, big vertical suplex to Bianca, but Bianca managing to get herself out of it, falling behind Rhea Ripley, and now going after the neck of Ripley, just working the shoulders and the neck, forcing Ripley down into the mat. Later tonight we will be hearing from our WWE Champion Sheamus after his successful retention over Edge at the Elimination Chamber. Of course, there was a little bit of controversy in that match after Samoa Joe got involved after his disappointing loss against Drew McIntyre earlier in the night. But what is Sheamus going to say? Is he finally going to accept the fact that Drew McIntyre could potentially be a challenger for his WWE Championship, or perhaps Finn Balor is going to come out, make his decision here tonight? Of course, in our main event we do have a big tag team match. We have Finn Balor, the Royal Rumble winner, teaming up with Drew McIntyre to take on the WWE Champion Sheamus and the man who interfered and stopped Edge from winning the WWE Championship, Samoa Joe. It is a huge main event here tonight. We'll also be seeing another tag team match later tonight as the former Raw Tag Team Champions, AOP, look to climb their way back up the rankings to be able to get a rematch for their Raw Tag Team Championships, which they lost at the Elimination Chamber against the team put together of Sami Zayn and AJ Styles, who teamed up over their hatred of Kevin Owens. So AOP looking to get themselves back for a rematch for those titles. Will they be able to get themselves up there? We'll have to wait and see. With Bianca Belair using her strength to be able to suplex Rhea Ripley over the top ropes and now onto the top rope herself. Flying high, big elbow drop, but Rhea Ripley managing to roll out of the way, causing Bianca Belair to hit the mat straight up. And the big scorpion kick there from Rhea Ripley to the face of Bianca Belair. And look, Bianca may be incredibly strong, incredibly fast, all of these things, but she is definitely the smaller of these two women. Rhea Ripley really outsizing Bianca Belair. And now the sleeper hold, locking in on Bianca, trying to force her to tap out right now, trying to make her go to sleep in the middle of the ring. As Rhea Ripley knows what this means, she is desperate for another opportunity as Shayna Baszler to get back the Raw Women's Championship. But Bianca Belair not making it easy for Rhea Ripley here tonight. Because it was a huge victory inside the Elimination Chamber for Bianca. And wait a second, look at this, the strength of Bianca Belair, just holding Rhea Ripley up, holding her up like she is just nothing. And now going up to the top rope again, but Rhea wisely trying to roll to the outside, trying to avoid any big moves from Bianca Belair. As again, the strength of Bianca to be able to suplex Rhea Ripley from the outside into the middle of the ring. Very impressive indeed from Bianca Belair. And now up to the top, perhaps looking for that big 450. Now instead turning her back, moonsault from Bianca Belair onto Rhea Ripley, who is down on the mat. but not going for the pinfall, getting her straight back up to her feet, kicking her in the guts, setting her up into the powerbomb position and then dropping her face first into the mat and calling her up. You know what she is thinking here. This has got to be it. She is looking to put her away right now, and can she do it? Yes, she does. Bianca Belair catching Rhea Ripley, and that has got to be it for tonight. Bianca Belair, 1, 2, 3, and she is carrying that momentum forward, not letting any of it go away as she heads towards WrestleMania. She has her eyes firmly set on that Raw Women's Championship now, and she has beaten a former Raw Women's Champion here tonight. What an impressive victory for Bianca Belair. Can she do it again at WrestleMania? Can she become a Raw Women's Champion? What a night for Bianca Belair as she celebrates here tonight. But wait a second, Becky Lynch, a former Raw Women's Champion, coming face to face with Bianca Belair in the middle of the ring. What does this mean going forward for Bianca and Becky? But now let's hear from our WWE Champion, the man who retains his championship at the Elimination Chamber, managing to put away the legend, the Hall of Famer, Edge. What is Sheamus going to have to say, as he has a lot of targets on his back? Drew McIntyre, of course, still wanting his rematch against the Celtic Warrior. And Sheamus has been putting that off for a long old time. What has Sheamus got to say to Drew McIntyre, to Finn Balor, to anyone else? Let's find out. Everybody in the crowd here tonight or watching at home, I need you all to get to your feet, raise your hands in the air and applaud the greatest WWE champion of all time. I have destroyed living legends and ripped this belt away from an undeserving, parasitic coward known as Drew McIntyre. A man desperately trying to stay relevant by chasing me, but I promise you all, he will never ever get a chance at my championship. But tonight I want an answer from Finn Balor. If he wants the true main event at WrestleMania, then he needs to fight the greatest WWE champion of all time. But no, Balor, I will end you. One bro kick to the face and you'll be wishing you never even chose to be a wrestler. So come on, Finn, we all know your choice, but come out here and confirm it to the world. Sheamus calling out Finn Balor here tonight, and Balor is answering Sheamus here tonight, the Royal Rumble winner, coming out here to come face to face with the WWE Champion of the Sheamus, calling himself the greatest WWE Champion of all time. And if Finn Balor wants the main event WrestleMania, he needs to do with the greatest WWE Champion of all time. Claiming he's managed to put away living legends, because he has beaten Edge and Christian as WWE Champion, but the Edge one, of course, you put a bit down to Samoa Joe on that one. You've had to give the assist there. And calling Drew McIntyre undeserving. A parasitic man. Very nasty words from Sheamus there. And maybe that is what he thinks. Maybe he thinks he just doesn't want to deal with Drew McIntyre in the slightest. But let's hear what Finn Balor has to say in response to Sheamus right now. Sheamus, I have no respect for cowards like you. You may claim to be the greatest WWE champion, but a great champion is not afraid of any challenge. If you were great, then you would not be hiding from Drew McIntyre. A man who has proved he deserves to be on top of the mountain. A man who proved he was a great WWE champion. A man who managed to pin me in the middle of the ring. Just like I've pinned you. 1, 2, 3. I can do it again, Sheamus, and I know that scares you because you know that at WrestleMania you will be staring at the lights. Just a footnote in the story of Finn Balor. But at WrestleMania I want to fight a great champion, not a coward. I'll see you in tonight's main event, where I'll pin you again. 1, 2, 3. Big words from Finn Balor there, saying that, well, as much as Sheamus may claim to be a great champion, he is not great enough for Finn Balor. The great champion is a man who is not a coward, and well, while Sheamus is not choosing to face Drew McIntyre, that makes him a coward in the eyes of Finn Balor. But we're going to have to see what happens in our main event here tonight. Still, no answer to who Finn Balor will be facing at WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble winner. But Pete Dunne out here now to take on Cedric Alexander. Pete Dunne, a man who's really been on a roll lately as he's been attacking and destroying his friends as he has turned into this harsh, just devastating competitor in the ring at the moment, being is Pete Dunne. He has injured Trent Seven, he has injured Tyler Bate, and he has been on a storm since then. You got to think he has great things in his future. And British Strong Style, well, maybe they were holding him back. Maybe they weren't what was needed for Pete Dunne. He was not getting the wins before, but now he has been dominating. He's been doing great work, managing to win that fatal four-way for the Royal Rumble to come number 30 in the Rumble, being the second to, being the last man eliminated, not even the second to last. He was in there last with Finn Balor. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him on that night, but he has been on a roll, and tonight taking on Cedric Alexander. Cedric immediately being caught by this joint manipulation of Dunne as he is working down Cedric Alexander, just picking body parts and pulling them apart, just ripping away and then stomping on the back of the neck of Cedric Alexander. Pete Dunne in complete control here tonight. Like you saw at the beginning of the match, Cedric Alexander tried to take that little bit of an advantage over Pete Dunne, trying to not want to get injured, I imagine. Like, you've seen what he's done to his friends. Well, Cedric's not his friend. Cedric's not his enemy either, but you got to think, if you've done that to your friends, what are you going to do to me? You should probably try and take the early advantage. But Pete Dunne getting an easy victory here tonight, collecting that bitter end to be able to pin Cedric Alexander for that 1, 2, 3, and that is all she wrote for Cedric tonight, as Pete Dunne picking up another huge win as he sets his sights on WrestleMania, and a big target for him. Who knows what it will be, but I'm sure he has something on his mind that he wants at WrestleMania. But this new Pete Dunne certainly on a roll at the moment. Now we move on to our former Raw Tag Team Champions, AOP, the private security team of Kevin Owens, who is still, as you can see, not here. Still hiding away from the returning Sami Zayn. Ever since Sami returned to the Royal Rumble, Kevin Owens has been hiding away from Sami Zayn, taking a few cheap shots, but he has not appeared on Raw ever since. And while AOP have been left to deal with the brunt of the attack from Sami Zayn and AJ Styles, two men who've had a lot of issues with Kevin Owens and the private security team AOP. And they teamed up to take away those tag team titles, but if AOP wants to get a rematch, they're going to have to go through the Usos here tonight. Of course, we go back to what happened back at the Tag Team Eliminator Tournament. It was quite an upset in the first round when AOP managed to eliminate the Usos in the very first round of that tournament. And the Usos coming back here tonight looking to redeem themselves, to be able to get themselves up into the Raw Tag Team Championship picture, heading into the biggest time of the year, WrestleMania. And Jey Uso trying to take down Razor quickly there with that short arm clothesline, but just getting his arm slammed into the chest of Razor and not being able to even knock him down in the slightest. And AOP taking the early advantage to work down Jey. Very much the sensible idea from the AOP. You want to slow down the pace of the Usos, prevent them from getting those tags. You want to keep one Uso in the ring at all times. That's what I would say. Just work on Jey the entire match. Don't let Jimmy in there. That's how the AOP are going to do this. But you can't deny, the AOP have been former Raw Tag Team Champions. They have beaten the Usos before. This is definitely their match to win tonight. I would say, honestly, it's probably an upset if the Usos manage to put away the AOP here tonight. And Razor going for that tag to Akam after preventing Jey Uso from getting the tag in the corner to Jimmy. And now straight away Akam back onto Jey Uso, putting him down to the ground, working down the neck of Uso. And now Akam continuing, just trying to prevent any way for Jey to be able to get out of this position. But he manages to get back to his feet, fighting out punches to the face of Akam. And Jey now needs to try and make his way over to the corner, but straight away Akam getting him over that top rope, preventing Jey from getting to the corner. But Jey fighting back right now. Fighting back against Akam, managing to get those punches to the face of Akam, and now getting him in the corner. Can he get that tag to Jimmy? And yes, he does. Jey Uso finally getting that tag to Jimmy, and the double super kicks to the face of Akam. And straight away up to that top rope. What is he looking for up there? Big diving elbow drop onto that midsection of Akam. Staring at Razor for a second, but then remembering to get back onto his current target. Continue working on Akam as Razor, looking for that tag, manages to just get the tag from behind the arm of Jimmy Uso. Razor back in the match now, but Akam down on the outside. No one for Razor to tag to, as Jimmy continuing to build the pace up in this one. Russian leg sweep taking down one half of the former Raw Tag Team Champions. And Jimmy now staring down Razor as he rolls out of the ring to try and avoid Uso. And Uso now into the quick roll up onto Razor. One. But rolling it back through. One. Rolling it through again. Quick roll throughs on these pinfalls. 1, 2. Again rolling through. 1, 2. No. So many quick roll throughs there. You never know if you're just going to get a surprise winner when you get those kind of things. And Razor now fighting back. The short arm clothesline taking down Jimmy. 1, 2. Oh, so close there for Razor. Almost being able to end this match just by knocking Jimmy Uso unconscious in the middle of the ring. Very close indeed for Razor. And now into the corner. Trying to get that tag to Jay, but not being able to get it right there. Razor fighting back, managing to get Jimmy into the other corner, knocking Jay off the side. And now can he get the tag? But instead Jimmy managing to get the big reversal, using the middle rope to then dive onto the body of Razor. Jimmy needing to fight right now. He has no one to tag to. But just as I say that, Jay manages to get back in the corner, and wait a second. The Tequila Sunrise from Jimmy Uso, trying to make Razor tap, but the drop kick into the back from Akam, managing to prevent the submission right there. Razor was in a very bad position. If it wasn't for his tag team partner, you got to think that could have been it for him in that one. And now throwing Jimmy over the ropes, with Jimmy catching him, rolling through, rolling him into another roll up in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, but just broken up just in time by Akam. Razor was almost done. He may well have been done. That's what it looked like at least. And now the double team from the AOP onto Jimmy, but Jimmy managing to avoid the Razor attack and dropping him with a huge Samoan drop, taking down Razor. Jimmy getting rid of Akam. No one to tag. Razor alone in the middle of the ring right now. Alone in the ring. Just stuck there with the Usos. And now Jimmy going for the tag to Jay. Could we see the stereo splashes? Yes, we can. The big Uso splash onto Razor in the middle of the ring. Is that enough here tonight? 1, 2. But no Akam. Akam back into the ring, managing to break up the pinfall here tonight. And Jimmy trying to take him down, accidentally knocking the referee, but eventually managing to get rid of Akam, getting the ref back to his feet as he looks to perhaps be going back down to that pin. Is it still enough? Is Razor still down for the count? 1. No. Too much time had eclipsed since that big Uso splash. And unfortunately, Razor was able to get himself back to his feet. But Razor desperately needing that tag right now. Needs to get Akam in the corner. And he is slowly starting to push back against Jey Uso. But Jey, big punch back to the gut, catching Razor, taking him down to the mat with a Russian leg sweep. And what is Jey thinking here? He's got to be thinking something big right now. Just looking straight into the face of Razor, taking him down with another Russian leg sweep as he goes up to the top rope. But Razor climbing the ropes, using the ropes to be able to get himself away from the floor. Because you don't want to be hit with one of those big Uso splashes. Very dangerous place to be. He knows what it feels like already. And again, Jey tries to throw Razor into the corner for the tag, but Razor just bouncing out of the corner. Not got the strength to be able to stay up. But now again, for the second time, we look like we're going for another Uso splash. Is it going to be enough this time? Are they going to be able to put away Razor with the second Uso splash, getting rid of Akam on the outside, and now going for that pinfall? Is it enough for the Usos? 1, 2, 3, and the Usos have done it. They have defeated former Raw Tag Team Champions, the AOP, here tonight. What a victory for the Usos. And that has got to mean big things for them going forwards. And that has really knocked the momentum out of the wings of AOP as they were looking for a rematch for those Raw Tag Team Championships. But Unfortunately for the AOP, that has not worked out very well for them here tonight. The Usos embarrassing the AOP, had all the control, isolated Razor, 2 Uso splashes, and that's what it took. And the Usos picking up a huge victory over former champions, and they've got to be setting their eyes on those Raw Tag Team Championships as we are heading to WrestleMania. I'm sure AJ and Sammy were watching this match very closely indeed to see what's going to be in their future, let's say. For the Usos tonight, sending a big message to the champs. And now we have Charlotte Flair out here, a very annoyed and upset Charlotte Flair. She wanted to win that Elimination Chamber, and she's very annoyed that she did not. She is frustrated with herself, frustrated with everything that's happened. Why didn't Charlotte just get a one-on-one match anyway? She's Charlotte Flair, she's the queen. That's what Charlotte has been saying, that she deserved a one-on-one match with Shayna Baszler, and that's what she's going to get. Bold words from Charlotte, to be honest with you. But she issued a challenge today, an open challenge to anyone on the roster. And now here tonight we have Naomi taking on Charlotte Flair, the queen. A very angry and frustrated queen, so this is probably going to be not the best decision from Naomi, but Naomi getting the early advantage with the fireman's carry into the big high kick to the side of the head of Charlotte Flair. And of course we see Carmella on the outside. Perhaps Naomi and Carmella will change their direction back towards the tag team division once again. Try and get those women's tag team championships, currently held by Dakota Kai and Nia Jax, of course, over on SmackDown. And now Charlotte, though, did manage to start to take the advantage. But Naomi refusing to give up, kipping up to her feet, not letting Charlotte Flair get the best of her here tonight. She wanted to prove that she was worthy of being in the ring with someone like Charlotte. And now Charlotte getting Naomi up, taking control, just taunting in the corner, just trying to get the attention of Naomi in the big boo, and Naomi's just out. Just look at her, collapsed on the floor right now. As Charlotte calling her up to her feet. What is she looking for right now? Looking for that huge natural selection here. Is that going to be enough to put away Naomi? And just look at the way that planted Naomi's head. Charlotte really taking out her rage tonight on Naomi. And I don't think anyone would be able to kick out of that tonight. And Charlotte setting her sights on the Raw Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, all these people, they should probably be worried right now. All of them should be worried about what Charlotte Flair is going to do next as we move forward on the road to WrestleMania. But we saw him earlier tonight, but now it's time to see it in action in our main event. And can he keep his promise? Will he be able to pin the WWE Champion Sheamus again tonight? 1, 2, 3, just like he promised in his promo earlier tonight. Or maybe Sheamus might be able to get that big upset victory over the Royal Rumble winner. But you can't deny what happened on the Elimination Chamber. Finn Balor had the performance of his career as he took down the Beast, Brock Lesnar. Somehow, some way, Finn Balor managed to do it. It was an incredible match, let's be honest. I just can't believe that he managed to do it. It was crazy enough that Finn put his #1 contendership on the line against Brock Lesnar. But the fact that he managed to win the match, unbelievable. And it was another man who picked up a big win at the Elimination Chamber, managing to defeat Samoa Joe, managing to right the wrongs of his past. Of course, in Drew McIntyre's eyes, everything has gone wrong since Sheamus has entered his life. Sheamus pinned him in a tag team match. Samoa Joe then went on to pin Drew McIntyre in a singles match. And then Sheamus went on to take the championship away from Drew McIntyre. So Drew, on the way to try and get back at that WWE Championship, he pinned Samoa Joe at the Elimination Chamber, and now he has his sights set on getting back his WWE Championship from Sheamus. But tonight, big tag team match, Samoa Joe and Sheamus teaming up. Of course, we have to wonder if there's kind of a bit of connection between those two men after what happened at the Elimination Chamber. Of course, Samoa Joe interfering to go and help Sheamus keep his championship. Edge had hit the big spear. It looked like it was all over for Sheamus, but then Samoa Joe came out. For no particular reason, he just lost to Drew McIntyre in the previous match. But Samoa Joe came out, distracting Edge, distracting the referee, preventing the pinfall from happening, and Sheamus managed to win the match because of that. I think if Edge had managed to get that pinfall, it would have been a 1, 2, 3. I think Edge could have won the championship. I think Sheamus is a very lucky fella indeed. But that ain't going to stop him from calling himself the greatest WWE champion of all time. Maybe he manages to hold that championship through WrestleMania. Or maybe he will become the greatest WWE champion of all time. But I just think it's a little bit early for him to be saying that when he's only held the championship for, say, 3 months. It's not necessarily the longest amount of time in the world. He hasn't even beaten how long Drew McIntyre held that championship for. We start things off here tonight with Finn Balor and Samoa Joe kicking things off. The Royal Rumble winner going up against Samoa Joe, the Samoan Destroyer. Very interesting matchup between these two men. Big size and strength difference. But we saw what Finn did against Brock, so that's probably the biggest size and strength difference you're going to get, to be honest with you. But Samoa Joe, very different, very much looking for that submission game as well. He'll want to wear down the neck of Finn Balor so he can lock in that Coquina clutch, choke him out in the middle of the ring. That's what Samoa Joe will be looking to do here tonight. And look, isolating Finn into the corner with a big boot straight to the face. Just like I said he would do. Working down that neck area, working down the face of Finn Balor. Wants to be able to lock in that Coquina clutch, but Finn wisely getting the tag to Drew McIntyre, and Samoa Joe straight away catching him, and down to the mat goes Drew with the big Uranagi there. But Drew not stopping, straight back up to his feet and pile driving Samoa Joe into the mat. And now Drew continuing this advantage, slamming the head down, using the knee to push Samoa Joe's face down into the mat. Of course, we saw the match these two men had at Elimination Chamber. It was a very close back and forth between these two men. Extremely physical, and they're both going to be feeling the pain of that match here tonight as Samoa Joe tags in to the WWE Champion Sheamus. And are going after the prone Drew McIntyre, but Drew, knee to the face, seeing the Irishman, and straight away fighting back. He knows he needs to pin Sheamus here tonight. He needs to prove his point. If he wants to win tonight, it's going to be by pinning Sheamus. That's going to be his target. He wants to prove that he's worthy of that WWE Championship match. He needs to prove it to someone. I don't particularly think Batista really cares. I don't think Batista's going to be giving Drew McIntyre a championship match. It's going to be Sheamus. Sheamus is the one who has the power over this. Batista's too busy with his own stuff at the moment, being our general manager. He more cares about looking after Randy Orton and Andrade. He doesn't care really about what's going on with these guys. He doesn't even like Finn Balor. He sent Brock Lesnar to go and break Finn Balor. And we all saw how that went. So honestly, Batista not going to care. Drew McIntyre needs to prove this by pinning Sheamus. He needs to not leave Sheamus alone until Sheamus gives him the championship match which he thinks he deserves. But Drew did manage to get that hot tag into Finn Balor. And now Sheamus laying in those 10 fists to the chest of Finn Balor. Just listen to the sound of those punches to the chest. It's just brutal the way that those hit. You're going to see the way that leaves a scar on the chest of Finn Balor. His chest is going to be red and bloody for quite a bit of time after that. And Drew McIntyre fighting back against Sheamus, allowing Finn Balor to get back to his feet. But unfortunately missing the big elbow drop from the top rope there did Finn Balor. Bit of a mistake there from Balor, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Balor going back up to the top rope to try and hit it again, but Sheamus too close. And now Sheamus taking advantage as Balor falling awkwardly onto the mat. And now he's fighting back against the WWE Champion. But Sheamus refusing to go down, catching the knee, and then the big clothesline to Balor, leaving him against the ropes. But Balor being able to drop Sheamus over the top rope, getting him out of the ring, and now dropping him down over the top rope, pulling him back in, not allowing Sheamus to escape anywhere. As these two men continue to go back and forwards, quick reversals between the two of them. And now Finn throwing him into the corner to Drew McIntyre and getting that tag. As Drew McIntyre now back in the ring with the WWE Champion, Sheamus. Of course, Drew McIntyre was the man who won the Money in the Bank contract back, and Money in the Bank cashed in at SummerSlam over Sami Zayn to win that championship. Held on to it all the way through to TLC before eventually losing to Sheamus, who's managed to hold on to that championship since, successfully defending his belt against Christian and Edge. While Drew McIntyre has been looking for his championship rematch the entire time, and these two men now taking it to the outside, using the steel of the ramp. And now Drew fighting back, throwing Sheamus into the barricade, but we got to get back in before we get to a count out here, up to a 4 count at the moment being. Up to a 5, these men need to get back into the ring sooner rather than later, as Drew McIntyre picking Sheamus back up, looking to get the champion back inside the ring, and yes he does, laying a big punch and then a kick to the side of the head of Sheamus. And Sheamus needs that tag to Samoa Joe right now, as Drew tagging back into Finn Balor. Can Sheamus get the tag? And yes he does. We're back to our starting lineup of this match. Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, as Joe lands a big kick to the face of Balor, and now running a senton. Balor in a bad place right now. Samoa Joe really in control of the Royal Rumble winner. Big uppercut there from Samoa Joe, taking Finn Balor down to the mat. And now Finn needs to be able to fight back into this. He needs to be able to get back into it. Samoa Joe, a much fresher man. He's been out of the ring for a very long time. And now the crossface, but too close to the ropes. Balor's foot on the ropes. Samoa Joe not realising that could have been enough there, if Samoa Joe managed to wrench in that submission for long enough. But of course Drew was making his way into the ring to assist his tag team partner as well. Now Finn reversing Joe, catching him. He's caught him. 1916, the move that he put away Brock Lesnar with. Is that enough here tonight? 1, 2, no! Samoa Joe somehow kicking out, and now Finn not giving him a second to think, up to the top rope, and coup de grace to Joe. And now into Drew. Finn Balor not going for the pinfall this time. He wants to let Drew McIntyre win this. You heard his words earlier tonight. Finn Balor said that Drew McIntyre was a worthy man to be at the top of the mountain here. 2. So close there. Joe still somehow being able to kick out after the Scottish kiss of Finn Balor, allowing Drew McIntyre to do this, allowing him to be the one to be able to put away this match. I think if Finn had gone for that pin on Samoa Joe right there, that would have been enough. But he wants Drew McIntyre to prove something here tonight, to prove to Sheamus that he can do this. And again, the big senton from Samoa Joe, but this time onto Drew McIntyre. And Joe managing to fire his way back into this. It seemed like it was all going to be done with that after that Glasgow kiss, but Samoa Joe managed to fight back, and now the big, oh my goodness, the big suplex there. The big German from Drew McIntyre taking down Samoa Joe, and Drew wants Sheamus. He wants the WWE Champion, just like I said earlier. And Sheamus in the ring, caught straight away by Drew McIntyre, running into him with an elbow tackle. Now telling Sheamus to get to his feet. Oh my goodness, is he going to do it? Is he going to pin the WWE Champion here tonight? Future Shock DDT. Is that enough? He's not done. He's not done. Going to the corner, looking for that Claymore. Drew's going to do it. Drew is going to pin Sheamus here tonight. Claymore, but Sheamus moves out of the way. Sheamus moves out of the way, avoiding the Claymore kick. He avoided the Claymore. And now Sheamus back onto Drew McIntyre. Sheamus saw the fact this was almost over for him. He wants that tag from Joe, but Joe not paying attention. Joe doesn't want to be back in there right now. He does not want to be in there with Drew McIntyre, and Drew wisely knocking Samoa Joe off the apron, making sure that he cannot allow Sheamus to get that tag. Sheamus is on his own now. No one is out here to help Sheamus at the moment being. Again, a German from Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus, the only thing for him to do, roll out of the ring. The only way for him to escape from Drew McIntyre right there was to roll out of the ring, and now back inside goes Sheamus. Got to be careful, they could look for that bro kick out of nowhere. Suddenly, a big kick to the face. I wouldn't be surprised to see it coming in. Sheamus managing to fight back. He has managed to get away from Drew McIntyre long enough to allow Samoa Joe back onto the apron. Is Sheamus going to go? Is he going to notice though? Is he going to notice, and is he going to get that tag to Samoa Joe? Joe's put the hand out. Joe putting the hand out. Sheamus knocking Drew McIntyre off the edge. But Sheamus deciding no. He wants to deal with Drew McIntyre. He's going to put an end to Drew McIntyre here tonight. But the chops back and forward between these two men. Holding nothing back as Sheamus on the outside. Taking his breath for a minute. And now getting back in to be in there with Drew. Trying to go for the bro kick but just missing it. Drew trying to go from behind. Sheamus ducks. These two men knowing each other so well. The quick back and forth, and Drew gets the leg up, belly to belly on Sheamus. Now Drew into the corner for the second time. Is he going to hit it this time? Can he put away Sheamus? Can he hit the Claymore kick? And Claymore to Sheamus. 1, 2, 3, and he has done it! Drew McIntyre has pinned the WWE Champion Sheamus here tonight. He did just what he said he would, and Drew McIntyre has done it. He has pinned the WWE Champion Sheamus. He is getting his redemption here in Universe mode. You gotta think he is undeniable at this point. Drew McIntyre has got to be owed a championship match sooner rather than later. But wait a second, Samoa Joe was leaving an edge. A spear, spearing Samoa Joe. Spearing, getting his revenge on Joe after what happened to the Elimination Chamber. And again, Edge calling Joe back to his feet. He is looking for another one. He is looking for a second spear to Samoa Joe. The revenge from Edge has been set tonight. And now Edge coming down to the ring to celebrate with the winners here tonight. Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor, and what a night for these men. Drew McIntyre pinning Sheamus, and Edge getting his revenge on Samoa Joe. But the real question, who is Finn Balor gonna choose for WrestleMania? Well, we're gonna have to find out soon. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.